Welcome to the Freedom Perspective. This is Freedom Perspective Ministries, and I'm Sean Court. We've been talking about the tongue and its effect on life and the people around us. Oftentimes, we've been trained in, especially Western culture, to not have to necessarily think before we speak. And when I say Western culture, it's kind of like pervasive around the world, really, when you think about the digital age, because everything is just so to the point, everything is in big, bold letters, and everything is in the now. And because everything is in the now, we're trained to not necessarily give careful thought to the effect or the end result of what we're doing, what we're wearing. Oftentimes, I'm kind of a paternal, maternal kind of guy, you know. I love to nurture, I love to mentor, I love to teach. It's not a controlling kind of thing, but when I see someone or a young person acting in public, I'm pretty old school. I don't mind walking over to a young lady and saying, you know, young lady, you might want to pull that up a little bit. And they give me that look like, who are you and who do you think you are? And then rolling of the neck and rolling of the eyes. I'm like, you roll anymore, your head's gonna fall off your shoulders. It's about care, because I look at every young person as my potential son or daughter. The Lord blessed me with 3 beautiful children. I treasure them, and I'd like to take care of what God gives me. And I feel the need sometimes to let people know what they're doing that's right or wrong. But what I have to give thought to, they are not necessarily in a place to receive that from me. It could be my packaging. It could be their state of mind. It could be the kind of day that they're having. And so what we need to do as a society is give more mind as to what does God want from me in this situation that I'm in. Kind of took it a long way to get right back to here, but it's about stretching your thought. That is why we call it the freedom perspective. If we can show you to pull yourself from the rut and the routine and the law, the legalism, and the dogma, now guess what? You've got some elbow room. You can do some things. There's some flexibility. That's what God created us to be. Free spirits, but governed by Him. He's got a huge universe out here. We've got a lot of room to move in, but He's given us all specified roles. He wants us to play our position. And part of that is His understanding the value of each thing that's placed into our path, each thing and each person. One of the things that's placed in our path is our tongue. That can be a wonderful, wonderful path to destiny, but it can be a horrible obstacle to our defeat. Now, the Bible speaks clearly about the tongue and all the things that it can do, good or bad. For instance, take a look at Job 27:4. Job says, my lips will not speak wickedness, nor my tongue utter deceit. Job went through some stuff. Here's a man that was the wealthiest in all the land, and God allowed everything that he had to dry up. And he still, as his wife requested, did not curse his God and just die. He took careful reason to his tongue. He didn't give in to emotion. When you lose everything, you have rights to be pretty emotional. Job chose not to. Psalms 15:3 says, Lord, who may abide in your tabernacle? Who may dwell in your holy hill? He who walks uprightly and works righteousness and speaks the truth in his heart. He who does not backbite with his tongue, nor does evil to his neighbor, nor does he take up a reproach against his friend. Psalms 34:13 says, keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. Psalms 35:28, and my tongue shall speak of your righteousness and of your praise all the day long. Psalms 37:30 says, the mouth of the righteous speaks wisdom, and his tongue talks of justice. Psalms 39:1, I said I will guard my ways, lest I sin with my tongue. I will restrain my mouth with a muzzle while the wicked are before me. That says very easily, when situations that cause me to react according to my flesh and emotions come around me, if I'm filled with your presence, Lord, I'll know how to just zip, hold my peace, and let you fight my battle. Psalms 119, 171 through 173 says, my lips shall utter praise, for you teach me your statutes. My tongue shall speak of your word, for all your commandments are righteousness. Psalms 139:4 says, for there is not a word on my tongue, but behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. Proverbs 10:31 says, the mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but the perverse tongue will be cut out. James 1:26 says, if anyone among you thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his own heart, this one's religion is useless. I like that one. James 3, 4, and 6 says, look also at ships. Although they are so large and are driven by fierce winds, they are turned by a very small rudder, wherever the pilot desires. Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasts great things. See how great a forest a little fire kindles? And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. The tongue is so set among our members that it defiles the whole body and sets on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire by hell. That's a pretty big statement. When you think about it, the tongue, for being such a small member of the body, can cause more damage than a fist. The tongue can cause more damage than a memory. Because think about it, you can actually forget a memory. You can actually go through a traumatic time in your life, get hit over the head, and suffer temporary amnesia and forget about what it is that hurts you. Amazing. But someone can come with their tongue and resurrect all of that pain and make you relive it all again. 1 Peter 3 and 10 says, for he who would love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking deceit. The tongue is a wonderful and useful tool in the body. The Lord can do wonderful things in your life by you giving your tongue, your emotions, and your mind over to Him. Don't seek to self-serve by the use of your tongue. Consider your tongue a beautiful paintbrush filled with color. All the color of God's creation is in your mouth. And life and life's people and all the adornments are a wonderful, clean, clear canvas. Use your tongue to paint broad, wonderful strokes. Be circumspect and real precise to get the corners that need a little narrowing, a little love. But also understand that your tongue can be a tremendous wind that can envelop and overtake everything around you with God's love. It takes so much more to overcome love than hate. Just think about it. Stop for a moment and say to yourself, you know what? I'd rather go through some circumstances where, I could have really given a piece of my mind than to go through a situation and say, man, I really did it this time. Which would you rather?